Are you ready to learn what red flags keep an eye out for when looking for love?
Then we got you covered. I'm Brianna.
And I'm Alex.
And this is the podcast where we unpack reality TV and call out the bullshit.
So that you show up confidently while dating and in relationships. Welcome to Ditch the Script.
I love it. We did it! Oh my God.
We did it!
Bitch, we have
What
bangs. Up? We both have bangs.
Bangy twins. Okay. Alex could have called it anything but that. Yeah, but you know. We got the look.
What's going on in our lives that we had to take these drastic measures? You know how like bangs are like the telltale sign that like something is up, something's afoot.
It's like the 2020 version, like era of Britney Spears shaving her head.
Yeah, very much. I am glad to say that neither one of us took kitchen shears to create this.
Or razors. Yeah, we went to professionals.
Professionals only. I don't trust myself. I don't even trust myself to like trim these up. They're just going to grow.
No. I just got mine trimmed yesterday. Like I went back to the professional.
That's why they look fabulous.
Yeah, because they were they were like down to here. So I was like, girl, please. She's like, your hair grows really fast. And I went to the date 6 weeks exactly. So
do you think if she showed you how to cut it yourself, do you think you'd do it? You wouldn't do it?
No.
It's not happening.
No. Absolutely not. Like, I would rather pay the money to get them trimmed by a professional who knows hair, who knows my hair, who knows what I'm going for, than for me to loathe myself for making a smidge of an error. And because I know that that's all I would focus on. I'd be like, I fucked it up. And I would point it out to everyone. I'd be like, look, did you see my bangs?
Oh, no.
And how I screwed it up?
No, not worth
like,
it.
No.
It's cheap. I mean, I don't know if she did it for free. Some stylists will do it for free if you just like
$25, but I'll pay for the $25.
Yeah.
Like I really will.
Yeah.
And not only that, I love going into this salon particularly. Like it's a vibe. Jax went with me. Oh, by the way, I'm a dog owner.
We have a dog.
Yeah. We'll have to talk about that.
All right.
Yeah, but it feels nice. It feels nice is all I was trying to say.
Okay,
it's nice to be taken care of.
It is nice to be taken care of. Also, you're like, I feel like when you first got your haircut in this style, it was like, this is different for me. Let's see how I like it. And bitch, it suits you.
Thank you. Yeah, I've gotten so many compliments on it, so I'm really thankful I took the plunge. But likewise, you look hot as fuck with your bangs. Like, it's just a vibe. And I think it matches our personalities so well.
It does. Mine need a lot of maintenance. Yours don't.
What do you mean?
Mine need like it's not that the whole hair needs maintenance. It's that the bangs, because my hair is like frizzy and wavy and I live in 90% humidity, right? So like so it can look like your auntie who hasn't seen a hairstylist in 25 years very quickly. Like kind of wiry and like floofy. Floofy is the best adjective to describe what can happen.
Floofy.
Yeah. So what they need to be trained to go forward. You have like nice straight hair. Your hair will
I do
go forward and just be there regardless of the humidity in the air. Mine are constantly trying to see what's up in the air quality. So they need to be.
They're like,
yeah, they can really get like this really quickly. So they need to be blow dried to be trained forward. Because my hair also just naturally wants to be like away from my scalp. And then I take a straight, like a flat iron, and I just like run it through real quick. And I'm happy with it because it looks so much better. Otherwise, I'd be kicking myself, being like, "What the fuck did I do?"
Oh my God. I feel you though. Like I will say that I do more to my hair now than I ever did before. Like literally, like I have a curling iron now, first curling iron I've ever owned in my life, to like put a little wave in it. And like today, that's not the vibe. It's literally just like I showered, I went and got my bangs trimmed, and now it's day after
today?
hair.
Oh, yesterday.
No, yesterday. But yeah, hashtag hair issues for women.
You know,
Like,
we've actually talked about hair a lot on this show. Between the two of us.
all
We've
kinds
mentioned
of hair, leg hair, pubes.
leg hair, pube hair. That's true. Oh my God, is this the
Yeah.
DTS through line?
It's
Body hair?
I mean, yeah. Oh, why not?
What?
Not relationships, not red flags or green flags. No. It's hair,
hair.
of all kinds. Yeah.
Wait, that's really funny. It's really funny. Okay, well, speaking of hair, you have a hairy, furry friend.
I do. Who
Let's
has
talk
gorgeous
about it.
hair, even
He
at the
has gorgeous
salon.
hair. Honestly,
I
hair
know.
goals. Hair goals.
Yeah, the gal who cuts my hair, Carafina, she was like, "Oh my God, talking about gorgeous hair," and I was like, "Right?"
I know. Okay, so who is he? What's his name?
His name
what do we know
is-
about
yeah.
him?
His name is Jax. Yeah, his name is Jax. He's an American Cocker Spaniel. He turns 3 September 7th, so we're
my
gonna
God,
have
he's
a
a
little
Virgo.
birthday party. Yeah, he's a
a
Virgo,
Virgo.
which so funny. Like, my father's a Virgo, and I used to have such a thing for Virgo men. Like, I used to be. There was a phase I went through where it was like I was constantly attracted to Virgos. Really, pseudo dad's a Virgo. It's a little weird. It's a little weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is an ironic coinkydink type situation with his
Yeah.
birthday. But
It's a
he's great. I
gravitational
got
pull.
him. Yeah.
It
I got
is.
him serendipitously. Like, I mean, I know we've talked about it even on the podcast, how since my breakup with Jordan, I've been like on the hunt for a dog, like in the right timing. You know, and so a coworker sadly had to rehome him, which is a long story for another day. But long story short, the Cliff Notes version is he ended up coming home with me. And so we've been together now for a week and a half, and we've been two little peas in the pod.
Yeah.
He is acclimated very well.
Yeah, I feel like he fit into your life quite easily.
So easy.
Like,
Yeah.
do
He has
you
a
feel like
very-
you've had to make many adjustments?
No, I think the hardest adjustment has been the sleep situation, just because he does sleep on my bed with me, but because of his hair, he gets warm, so he'll like be on the bed and then hop down and hop up. So I've had to get used to just like that kind of movement.
Yeah.
Again, which is totally fine because like, you know, when I was still living with Jordan and Django obviously was our first son, Django slept with us and like I got used to having him around. And then when I moved and, you know, was single and didn't have him on the bed with me, I got used to the bed being very still. So it's just like getting used to that again.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
by
yeah,
now
totally.
we've mastered. So yeah, he has a very similar demeanor to Django too. So he's really chill. You know, he's the right amount of playful energy still. You know?
Okay, where he's like, he can
Yeah.
perk up, but otherwise he's really
Oh my
just
God, yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah, he's chilling under my desk right now. Just
Well,
hanging.
I'm really happy that you had such a smooth transition because Lord knows I did not. I really did not. Like, love Tucker with every fiber of my being. And it was a major, like, every day was a new learning experience of like, okay, what did I learn from yesterday's mistakes to inform today's success? What are we doing differently today? Which is, I'm up to the task.
Yeah.
You know, but for you, I mean, you have so much going on anyway that like, if you were going to have a dog, like it was going to be really important that the dog was like able to just saddle on in, you know?
Yeah.
And ride.
Yeah. And so it's been great because I can still take him into the office so he can see his previous owner and like that they can still maintain that relationship a bit. And then for me, like I said, like it's been because he's so similar to Django and I got used to being around Django while all this was going, like it was pretty easy to kind of put together. So we're good over here. But
This is your
been
first-
so nice.
This is your
I
first
know,
solo
yeah.
dog.
It is. And I'm so thankful. Yeah. He's great. He's great.
Yeah, I'm happy
So,
for you.
Thanks. We're happy too, right, babe? Right, little Jaxie boo. He's like just sitting there chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's happy that he has
Yeah.
you too. I'm certain of it. Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of
Doesn't that
love,
make
our morning,
doesn't that make you
yeah,
want to fucking cry?
yeah. Like our morning and PM cuddles are like the
Oh, the
best.
best.
Yeah.
It's
And when I'm
what
getting
it's worth it.
frustrated, yeah, when I'm getting frustrated, I just look at his little face and he's like, "Yeah, it's okay. You can just pet me and everything will be better," you
Oh
know?
yeah.
Like, yeah.
If I'm like, I have some days, I feel really lucky at this period of my life. I was reflecting on this earlier this weekend, but like I don't have many bad days. And I'm really grateful for that because that hasn't always been the case. Like the few bad days that I have are truly like the exception to the standard.
Yeah.
So I don't have many bad days, but I have long days. And when I have like nine
Right.
clients in a day and it's just like back to back to back to back, I get really like drained and I need to be able to give myself a little bit of space to breathe that in and then also like kick it back into gear and like be present again minutes later.
Yeah.
But like going over to Tucker because he's usually sleeping, going over to him and just like rubbing my face like in his like
Yeah.
chest area is like, oh my God, healing.
Mm-hmm.
Literally
Yeah, it's
healing.
co-regulating. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally a form of co-regulation. So there you go. Like,
Love
I'm sure
that.
you knew that, but just to say to
No, I
like the
needed
general public, like,
I know I often forget about I do so much. First of all, I spend so much time alone that co-regulation is
mm,
actually not a part of my world regularly.
right,
So co-regulation is actually a thing that I forget about because I am so familiar with regulating myself every day.
right. You're like, I'm good on my own. Like,
Yeah,
I don't need
so
nobody.
I actually really appreciate that reminder that that's co-regulation because that's the reason why it feels so
So
beneficial in
damn
such a short
good.
amount of time.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah,
Efficient.
yeah, like if with couples, it's like if we can something Jordan and I used to do, but I will take this into my future relationships is two things actually come to mind. One, a dance party together,
Oh,
which was always fun.
mm,
And we would when Jordan and I were together, we would pick Django up and include him with us. So it was like a family affair. But the other thing was a 30-second hug because there's something about like
mm,
embracing another nervous system that allows both of them to be like, we're okay, we're safe. But it's the same concept with an animal, whether, cat,
yes.
dog, whatever. So
Yes.
it's like, that I've felt that quite a lot with him over the last week and a half. Like, it's been kind of profound because I say that to my clients who have pets all the time. Like, look, take a 5-minute break, go play with your pet. You're co-regulating, work that into your
Mm,
day and like prioritize it because mental health wise, it's huge. It's a
yeah.
huge part of healing and part of being present and all of that. And so now that I've have a pup of my own and I've been able to play with that more again since not being with Django, it's been
Yeah.
so cathartic. Like I don't know
Yeah.
how else to say it. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
find that like I already really like mornings, but it sets up like the
Oh
mornings
my
to
God, I
be.
so agree.
Yeah, it's so
Mm.
different. And I know that you have always not always, but like over the last couple of years you've really been super intentional about your morning routines to like
Yeah.
help you prepare yourself for
Live.
everything's to come. Yeah, to literally like meet your equilibrium. And but it's so important, such an important practice. Um and I think that like adding a dog that is also like such a vibe. Like your dog's a vibe, right?
He's
So
so fun.
yeah. So like adding an animal that really like can ride that wave, like it makes that morning routine a little different, but like also still beneficial.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I'll say like one thing I've noticed is I've been on this is like a blessing and low key. I don't want to say a curse, but something I need to be intentional about moving forward is like because I've been spending so much time with Jax and like really prioritizing like our time together as we've kind of are coming into stasis as a team, our little family. I've been off social media like I
Mm,
haven't been on it as much because it's like I've been really prioritizing like taking care of him, finding our groove, taking care of what I need to, my
totally.
clients, work, like everything put together. And so I haven't been on specifically Instagram stories, which if I'm being completely honest is the hardest part of my business. Like for me, just as an entrepreneur, there's other coaches in the world that like IG stories or like ain't no thing for them. But for me, it's a lot of energy.
Yeah.
And so I've had to kind of take a low profile there in order to be intentional about where I am investing my energy. And it's been kind of nice. It's been it's been nice.
I can imagine. I can imagine. It's like and also for anyone that's listening that's less familiar with Alex's work, like when we're talking about her work on social media and Instagram stories, this is not just you just like updating bits about your life, although you do leave that in there. Like this is how you connect with your clients. This is how you promote the services that you're offering. This is also how you like get on and talk about like bite-sized bits of information that a lot of people love to learn in a digestible moment. You know what I mean? So it's very intentional how you use social media for a good cause, and like it is draining, and it's nice to take a break from, and it's nice to just disconnect a little bit. So I'm glad that you've had an opportunity
to unplug from that a bit.
Yeah, it's like you took a vacation, except you're still working all the time.
Yeah. I still really, swear to God, Brie, if we could just figure out a way to pause time. Oh my God. I just want to hit pause and then take a nice juicy nap and a nice dip in the pool. And then I can replay. Like we can hit play again. But like, I just want to tap out for a minit so badly. Yeah. So yeah.
We're working on it. That was a laugh cry for anyone who doesn't speak Alex. That was a laugh cry.
Thank you for interpreting it for me.
We're working towards facilitating breaks. Stay tuned. You, as listeners, you can hold us accountable and say, "Hey, you've done a lot. You give a lot.
Yeah.
Have you taken a little bit of a vacation yet?" And when we say no, permission to respectfully reprimand us.
Oh, you can just be like, bitch, all caps in the DMs. I respond well to people like say, like wonderful. In obviously tongue in cheek, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's
come on, bitch, get off the gram.
In the name of work, this is what we're doing today because I want people to feel informed. We took a little break last weekend to recover from our Love Island experience, and our schedules were also just
life in general.
Up the fucking wazoo. Yeah. So thank you for bearing with us on our 1 week break. We are going to wrap up Love Island. We don't want to leave you hanging. We have the last episode, you know, the awards for best, most dramatic couple awards, you know, whatever they like to, however they like to rate these.
The Love Island, the Love Island Villa winner people.
Yeah, the Love Island winners. So we're going to cover that. We're going to cover the reunion, which I really think that this is the first time that they've done a reunion, but someone can definitely fact check me on that. And then we have a topic that we're going to explore, and we're going to kick around some ideas about what we're going to move on to next.
And that's it.
And that's it.
Let's freaking go.
Let's do it. Okay.
Oh my God.
Love Island.
Yeah.
Season 8.
Bring it in.
Okay.
Season 8.
So it's interesting to catch up on the last episode because we have like Laura, they're literally like still on the villa. Like they haven't left and come back.
No.
But they basically review everyone's experiences, and then the public has voted who will be the winners, and then they go from 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. And surprisingly to me, Tasha and Andrew were 4th. Okay, here's the thing. These results don't ever fucking matter. They only matter to the people who win because they win money. But they really don't fucking matter. Again, if anyone has watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, it's like points in that game. The points don't matter. Nothing matters.
Yes. I watch that show all the time, by the way. I just need to say that. I watch Whose Line Is It Anyway on HBO Max all the time. Still,
it's the most underrated comfort show that no one ever talks about.
Agreed. And Colin Mockery, most amazing man alive.
You and I have a long, like when I think about Whose Line It Is Anyway, like I think about you and our time spent in your
those
your
summers.
bed and your trundle bed Yeah, watching
with
Who's
your
Line.
back brace that I broke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
times.
that's okay. I was on my way out of not needing it anyway. By the way, anyone, I have really gnarly scoliosis and I had a back brace for a long time. And only the realest ones have had the luxury of strapping me into it with
Yep.
whatever 12-year-old strength y'all had.
Oh, and I had some strength because I broke that bitch. I
Yeah,
said,
she broke it. And you know how it happened? I
oh
remember
well.
clear as day how it happened. It was like it swiveled on this it
I know
swiveled on
I fucked it up.
no, it's fine. You didn't know. First of all, we were like 12. It
12.
swiveled on a thing that like bolted the strap to the back brace, which is mostly plastic. And we had it flipped around. So when Alex pulled it, she was pulling the tension away from the brace instead of in its natural direction. That would have continued to keep it secure. But you know
And
what?
my
Like I said,
Hulk-like strength ripped
yeah,
that bad boy off.
she really fucking it popped. Like it popped. It went
Pop,
pop.
lock, and drop it.
And that phone
Okay.
call to my mom about that back brace. But I'm almost certain, and we had to actually been a little bit older. I couldn't have been 12. I probably was like 13 or 14 because it was out. I only needed to wear it for, this is more information that anyone needs to know. I only needed to wear it for 2 years, and I think that was like the last final frontier.
We did it. Yeah.
Anyway, that's how I developed humor as a defense mechanism. You're welcome. You're all welcome.
Oh my God. How did we get on that topic? What were you talking about before? I had a
The
brain
Trundle
fart.
bed. Whose line is anyway? The points don't matter,
Oh, yeah.
and neither
Whose
do the
line?
Love
Points
Island
don't-
winners. Yeah.
Thank you. Retract it back. Gold star.
Yeah.
So yeah, Love Island. So Tasha and Andrew were fourth. And I was surprised but not surprised at the same time.
Yeah.
I feel like clearly they haven't been a fan favorite for whatever reason. Because all hell broke loose around giving Tasha some serious shit over stuff she didn't need to be given shit over.
And like none of it for Andrew licking that girl's tit or whatever. None of
I
it.
know, please. None of it. I licked a tit or whatever. Like, oh my God. This only, okay, but see, look, okay, this is
Yeah.
Alex's, if we're going to boil this entire episode down to a one-liner, this is the takeaway.
Yeah.
What we just saw especially with this season, the fallout of season 8 of Love Island UK, it is only further confirmed to me that there is a lack of education around healthy and unhealthy behaviors in relationships, and two, which causes us, backing up, back to the first point, lack of education, which causes us to romanticize toxic behaviors. Yikes. Second of all, there is still very much, and this is not any new information, but boy, oh boy, is it painted clear as day with Tasha and Andrew's dynamic, that women are held to a different standard that men are when it comes to exploring connections and sexuality. And I'm pissed off about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for
Yeah.
coming to our TED Talk.
Yes. TED Talk. TED Talk.
Yeah. What did I say?
Oh, yeah,
We don't know.
It's okay. We're moving on. It
I haven't
was,
finished my coffee yet.
we're powering through. Yeah, absolutely. And I have to leave space for the fact that people aren't drawn to Love Island because they're like, I want to vote for the healthiest couple that I can see on television. And we get that. However,
Yeah.
like the criticism that Tasha received from and you know where it was like clear as day to see like how vocal that was in the After Sun episodes each week. You know, when they would
I
like be
didn't watch
talking
all
about
of
it.
them.
I watched most of them, and it was just so clear that they were so not sold on Tasha's behavior and her flip-floppiness when literally, like we've been saying from the beginning of the series, this is what the show requires of you to do. You need to meet a bunch of different people. You need to go on dates. It's like how we date here. It's like
Yeah.
how we date off of a television show like this.
In
You date
RL.
someone.
Yeah.
You date someone, you date other people as well until you've established that expectations of one another are changing, which is, I hope, is a conversation that you're having when you feel it appropriate. That's when you start to whittle down your your attention onto one person. And maybe that's not
Yeah.
how everyone does it, and that's fine. But to come at a girl, a like 24-year-old girl, for being on a show to meet men and be mad at her for meeting men, it's fucking absurd.
Just talking to them. She didn't lick their tit or whatever.
She did not lick their tit or whatever.
Okay.
She didn't.
I'm just like, and it's like, I also fucking love Tasha and Andrew for being so strong. Like, once they finally stopped giving Tasha shit and allowed them just to settle into their relationship, which they were doing fine before, and then they had 2 weeks of hell with everyone trying to be all nosy up in their business and get into Andrew's head, right? Like, then they finally settled down. They got so strong, and you see that even on the reunion episode where it's like, they can talk about it very candidly and it's fine, which is the sign that people have made peace with whatever their relationship, situations are. And so I love, it's almost a testament to me, or to them, their relationship, but it proves to me that, like, they did have the hard conversations. They did talk about how can we make each other feel secure, and they fucking did it. You know what I mean? That's what relationships require. And it infuriates me that there is just, one, a double standard, men versus women in these heterosexual norms, and two, just the lack of awareness around healthy, unhealthy, and what that means. Like, but that's why we do what we do, right? I mean, that's why I do what I do too. So it's like,
yeah, totally,
Jesus,
100%.
Let's talk about it.
I think Andrew and Tasha, for me, were the healthiest, most progressive example of a like modern relationship. Like, it's not perfect by any means, but I do think that they represent, modern challenges, in that shit's going to get rough. You are going to be tested. You are going to have experiences where you're not super psyched on your partner, but you're still really committed because you have all of these feelings. And I just think that, like, the way that they came back together, the cadence of how they synchronized, I should say, rather, to the end of the series was like a beautiful way to see them go out. It really, like,
Agreed.
Once they got through their shit, nothing was bothering them, and they were solid as when they started. And that's truly who they are as a couple. I feel like that is like the core of what makes them a good fit for one another. And to me, they're number one in my heart.
Agreed. I've been on the Tasha Andrew train for a while, and I have the, like, low key the biggest crush on Andrew. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah, like, I think he's a gem in so many ways. Like, I really do. I think he is just a good dude. I think he's emotionally aware. I think he's a great communicator. He looks like a fucking amazing kisser. I would love.
He does look like an amazing kisser.
Like,
Ooh.
fuck. Oh, okay, we need to stop talking about this ass. Okay. A little heated over here. But yeah, Tasha and Andrew, I forgot what I was going to say about them, because then I got all distracted by my crush on Andrew. Fuck.
You said that they, I forgot too. Anyway, they're number one in your heart. You've been on the Andrew and Tasha train since the beginning.
Yeah, I was gonna say something more profound about it. Oh, okay, I remember what it is. Yay! It was that if there is any lesson that all of us can take away from watching, Tasha and Andrew's hurdles and trials and tribulations on this show, it's that be very careful who you allow to get in your ear about your relationship. Mm-hmm. Be very careful, because when Andrew was falling prey to the rumors that the Casa girls brought in, like people that he didn't know, he met 5 minutes ago, he allowed their opinions, which it didn't help that the guys that Andrew had known in the villa then jumped on the Casa girl train because of their own issues and personal vendettas against Tasha, and it really fucked with Andrew's head. And, let's look at the men he allowed to get into his brain and their relationships. And I'm sorry, I don't think Dami's relationship or Luca's relationship is as solid as Andrew and Tasha's by a mile. And yet those were the people he was allowing to get in his head, where it's like, you know, Adam, I mean, again, I didn't see Adam on previous seasons, but to, you know, for the version of Adam that's showing up on the season that I did witness him in, he didn't seem like that menacing kind of guy. Like, he's like, I'm going to let people do what they need to do. He wouldn't, if he was there over Casa, I don't think he would have been on the let's get you away from Tasha train. So the reason I bring up that comparison is like, be very mindful, be very aware of around the circle that you keep and who you allow to influence you and your perception of things, because I've dealt with this before personally, where I have been seeking comfort or advice from another friend who I probably shouldn't have because of their own issues in their relationships and because of their own traumas and perspectives. It made a really shitty impact on what I was perceiving and feeling and thinking about a certain situation. Yeah. So hopefully I explained that okay, but that's my biggest takeaway from watching all that.
I want to sort of create a model of what I think, like, I think people could follow if you're thinking about reaching out to friends for support. If you're like, or on the other hand, you as a friend are like, I want the best for my friend. I need to sort of state a concern of mine about what I notice about like my friend's partner. I think if you are the person in the relationship that is being met with a conflicting opinion from a close friend, one, consider what your relationship is like with that friend, because exactly as you're saying, right, Alex, like you want to be keen to what could be their motivation to share this information. If all things considered, you assess that like this person has my best interest in heart, like they're my best interest in mind as well. Like they are going to share their opinion, but I can trust that this isn't for their own personal gain, because they want me to be single or they want this person to perish. Like, you know, if you can really eliminate all of those factors, it's still their opinion. It's still their perspective. So listen to them. You don't have to take it all in. Hear it. Allow that to process. Don't make any big decisions. It can be easy to hear someone that you care about and love say, I think that they're bad for you, and be like, oh my God, maybe they are. Oh my God, they're fucking cheating on me. Oh my God, like, how could I have been so blind? Like, take it all with a grain of salt, really take it in, ask questions, obtain as much information as why this person feels this in the way that they do, and then let that digest. Because what matters at the end of the day is that they have an opinion, and sometimes that opinion is super valuable because we can be super blind when it comes to our relationships. But so that can be valuable, but you also, like, you are the only one in the relationship. So if we use Andrew as an example, he felt so strongly about Tasha, and that was such an organic, instinctual, like, feeling to him. Like, it was a knowing. He was like, this is a person that's worth investing my trust into. And his friends were like, not so fast. She's talking to other people. Now, if she did come back to the villa with Billy and Andrew had been loyal that whole time, that would have been a problem. And, you know, he has every right to be upset about that. But I think that, like, he was ignoring the thing that he knew to be true about his feelings about Tasha that entire time. And he got really swept up. He heard the opinions of people that he didn't fucking know. He heard the opinions about close friends that he's literally known for 4 weeks. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is, he got swept up and moved further away from his knowing. It's hard to know what that is, but sometimes,
but that's why
last thing I want to say about it is that sometimes it's like, let's say you fuck up and you trust someone. My parents have this saying, which my mom makes a mistake. She goes, you fucked up, you trusted me. Sometimes you fuck up, you trust someone, and the worst thing that happens is you get your feelings hurt, your ego gets bruised, your expectations are let down, you're disappointed. And I don't mean to minimize that experience, but like, if at the end of the day you said, I trusted this person because I believed everything that on my good conscience, like that felt right to me, that's okay. You can stand on that.
Yeah.
That's it.
And it's something that you said, I can't remember if this was a personal convo of ours or on this show.
Goodness. That's okay. Permission to air.
It's not, you would be comfortable with me stating this publicly.
Okay, cool.
But something that I think you put into words that I feel is so powerful is like, do I trust myself to deal with the fallout of that? And because at the end of the day, that's what fucking matters. It doesn't like, yes, people can hurt our feelings. Things cannot, we'll pull the short stick. We'll feel unlucky. We're going to have, hurt and challenges and heartbreak and all of that. It's guaranteed to fucking happen because life is what it is. And do we have our own backs at the end of the day? And do we trust ourselves to handle those emotions and get back up on the bike and continue to ride that bike, right? Like, it's life is what we make it. It truly is. And what matters at the end of the day is us having the best relationship with ourselves instead of relying on other people to satisfy this relationship with ourselves, which is ass backwards. It makes no sense. So, I loved this was a personal combo because we're talking about.
I've been talking about this a lot over the last couple of months.
Yeah, but it's so true. It's so true. And I love that you put it that way. It's like, this is the choice I'm going to make. And if I end up, we have
getting
this
hurt.
term like, oh, do we regret, the decision I made or whatever? It's less about that. And it's more about, and I'm prepared to deal with it.
I can handle it.
I know I can handle it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
And for me, and I'm saying this because I hope that other people can relate to this as well, because I think a lot of us are really afraid to get hurt. Like Andrew's probably terrified of getting hurt, so he chose to hurt someone else.
Right.
He hurt two people
and
along
licked
the way.
Coco's tit or whatever.
He licked Coco's tit or whatever, and he hurt Tasha by doing that. He hurt Coco by doing that. I mean, maybe Coco liked it in the moment, but
right.
later on.
And I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Coco.
I would have liked that too. Yeah. So we,
especially by Andrew.
Listen, what that mouth do? I
have a problem.
Settle down. So I think a lot of us are like, I don't want to get into a relationship. I'm afraid of getting hurt. I am scared to date. I'm afraid of getting hurt. And it's all informed about what we've been through or what we've seen happen to close people about us. And all of that impact is incredibly valid. This is your one fucking life. I don't really care what you believe in. This is your one life. Like if you move through life just avoiding opportunities that could get you hurt at the risk of just living your life. I want to live my life personally. I want to take measured risks. I want to take risks that say, this is safe enough. Like, I don't want to get in the car and start driving without my seatbelt on, but I do want to go on a couple dates with someone that maybe isn't the best thing for me. That's okay. Yeah. Because the red flags aren't glaring. Like, and I'm not prepared to yet make a decision, So it's like, I'd rather just bet on myself and be like, listen, trusting myself to know that when this isn't good for me, I'll get out. And until then, have a good time. If it blows up, I've got it. I've got people behind me. I've got myself. I've got a cute dog who's literally never going to go anywhere. Like, we are good here in this house. Yeah. We can afford to take a little bit of a risk if it means the opportunity of some reward. I want the rewards. Don't we all?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, just be real with yourself. And I think that's really what's lacking. That's really what's lacking the world over, is like, we are so focused on numbing out and coping in ways that don't really serve us as a means to not get real with ourselves. Like, can I handle this? Is this something I'm willing to sign up for? What is my threshold for tolerance for these red flags? So... And I think part of that is just growing pains. Like, I think a lot of people just need to live a little before they start to, they get their own scrapes and bruises and get back up and they're like, okay, well, learn my lesson. And then I unfortunately know that some people get stuck in those patterns thinking that it's out of their control. And that is what I'm not okay with, is that it isn't in your control. And let's compassionately take a look at how we can address those things, Yeah. But it all comes back to just be the awareness and being real with you. Because that inner world is the one thing you're guaranteed to be around with 24/7. So you might as well make sure that inner world is somewhat decent.
Yeah. Yeah, make it cozy.
Yeah. Make it cozy. Who's
So
next?
that was a very long tangent on, but you know what? I'm glad that we went there regarding Andrew and Tasha, because I feel like that's at least the impact that their relationship has had on us as we've been watching this show. It's just like, I need us to be more okay with the fact that like couples can go through things, and it's all about how you reconnect and also do better moving forward. Like
Yeah.
like take the risk. All of that insight or that input, all of the noise from everyone else was such a significant factor in what made their relationship really difficult. And it was, and we
Right.
called this, but as soon as that was removed, they got better. And I hope that they take that with them in the future if they watch back on the show sort of with similar lenses that we have.
Yeah.
The other thing that feels like a novelty experience of this Love Island season is Ekin-Su and Davide, who are our Love Island winners.
I can't.
To which
I was so pissed.
doesn't make a lick of sense to me. And again, like we said, the winners don't matter. But to be voted as the winner of Love Island, it suggests that this is
That's
your
my problem.
favorite couple.
Right. I have a problem with this. Okay, full transparency, the night that I watched it, I actually recorded myself reacting to
Oh, no way.
them winning, and I went to post it on my story, but I didn't know if you had watched it yet. And so I didn't want to spoil it for you. So I saved it as a draft, and now it's been like a week and some change, so I'm not even going to end up posting it. But like I was literally like this. I was like what? Like chin on the floor, just in shock, because I feel like usually when I watch these shows like Bachelor, Bachelorette, I feel like 97% of the time, like upper 90s, I have a good idea of like who's gonna win, like who's gonna be chosen as Bachelor, Bachelorette, I've only been wrong like once or twice, who's gonna win Love Island on this season. Like I usually feel like I can watch and kind of pick up on like what's gonna happen, who's feeling who better, blah blah blah. But
You never saw this one coming.
I never fucking saw Ekin-Su and Davide winning. And that made me so pissed because I was like, what? What have you been watching that I haven't been watching? Like, it is the most toxic, narcissist. Like, and again, I don't say this in a sense of like, what comes to mind is like Game of Thrones, like when Cersei is doing the shame walk and there's like shame. Like, I am not trying to throw shame at either of these people. What irks me within and deep in my soul and makes me sad is that, again, have we really romanticized narcissistic tendencies within relationships so much that we see them as passion and chemistry and soulmate-like behavior because of this insane roller coaster? We're together, we're apart, we're together, we're apart. And really, like, we're gonna vote for that as that's who should win the 50,000 pounds after these 8 weeks in this villa? Like, no, shouldn't we reward the behavior of like the couples who like had the hard conversations, the couples who got really vulnerable and truly did start developing feelings of love? Like, why? Oh, it was so disheartening for me.
To answer your question of the do we really like value and romanticize these tendencies in relationships like this? And the answer is yes, because it reflects a conditioning that has been served to us through popular television, popular movies, also like story sharing within our communities about love and passion and what it means to feel chosen and fire. And I'm not saying that those things aren't nice within a secure relationship, like passion in a relationship. But what I want people to understand, and it's really hard to describe, is that passion in a secure relationship looks so different than what we saw.
I want to talk about this. Can we go there for a
Let's
second?
Let's go there. We're going there.
So, okay, I'm going to be vulnerable. I want to share something that went through at like my own mind. I didn't call myself Alex. Oh my God, that's a win.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Good job,
Thanks.
girl.
So, yeah. Anyway, so, what was I saying? Yes, when I was dating my narcissistic ex, and we were like, if you're familiar with the cycle of narcissistic relationships, it goes like this. It starts with love bombing, idolization. So that's like all the honeymoon phase, basically. Then it goes into devaluing, then the discard, and then the Hoover. And so whenever we would break up and then he would start hoovering, I would literally think to myself, he's so in love with me, he can't let me go. I would think that. I really believed that because this guy kept coming back to me, he clearly felt some kind of way about me deep down and really wanted me. And so I believed that lie, because it's like, if he didn't love me, he wouldn't come back, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was so hard for me to understand and accept the reality that it's not that he really loved me or cared about me. It's that because I enabled him to come and go as he pleased, he knew I would always be there. It was easy fucking pickings for him, right?
Yeah.
And so when I finally had to swallow that horse pill and say, this actually isn't love at all, it's just fucking abuse. Like, that's one thing. And I just want to share that, because then when, and this is something else that I hear all the time, just like what you were tapping on a second ago, is that, you know, will I feel the same kind of passion and excitement and spark, which the more I'm in this industry, the more I hate that word.
Spark?
With someone who's healthy as this narcissistic person that I have fallen head over heels. Like, will that happen? And from my own experience and own relationships, yes. And the amount of passion a secure relationship brings is orgasmic as fuck, dude. Like, it's sexy. And I think that people are so accustomed to the mystery of, where do I stand with them? Do they like me? Do they not? And they use their sexuality as a means to prove their worth, and they get off on that idea subconsciously. Whereas when you truly feel safe and you truly feel secure with the other person and you're going at it, it's like, okay, this is the one biblical reference that I'll say that I feel like I can kind of wrap my brain around. It's like this to become one, like, you know that scene in Avatar when they do their, like, they hook their little things up?
Their
That's
tails.
what it feels like. Yeah, it's like this, like, intense, like, two souls joining together and really
rather than this person, I don't know how they feel about me when they're not around, but I can tell that they want me so bad.
Right, and it's more performative in that lens. It's like, it still feels good. It still feels exciting because there's this state of anxiety subconsciously that we have interpreted as passion, whereas true passion that is started with safety, in my opinion, it's such a different vibe, and it's so much more intense in the best way. Like, from what I've experienced, just saying.
As you were talking about this, I was sort of thinking about what are the messages that we've been told and that we rehearse and share with among each other that reinforce that romanticization of that toxic push and pull. And I think it sounds like if they love you, they'll come back, right? If they want you, they'll come back. Like, whatever's meant for you will be yours. And so it's like every time someone who is literally viewing you as a game, something that like is stimulating in their world, that reinforces their power, their influence, that they can see in a relationship that they have with you, is that all of their shitty behavior is reinforced by this message of, well, it's meant for me because it's coming back. And they must really want me. Like, and when we are like, if you think about your sexuality and like single ply, like you really only get so deep as they want me or they don't want me. You're sort of experiencing sexuality with them being like, well, they want me, they're sexually charged by me, and I like that. Okay, that's fine. But if that's as deep as it goes, because it always is, it's never deeper than that. Yeah. It's literally just being, and I would want people to know that that's actually a reflection of your issue with how hard you're hanging on to what sexuality confirms about your value in this relationship, because you're literally getting nothing else from this person, but all you're getting is a confirmation and a validation of this person wants me sexually, and that makes me feel wanted, that makes me feel chosen, and therefore I will put up with this bullshit, which you don't always recognize as bullshit. You recognize as exhilarating storybook, should be written in a movie type shit. And we're like, this is crazy. Of course it's fucking crazy, because it's not fucking healthy. You know?
Yeah.
Really?
And there have been movies made about it.
Oh, there are movies that are made about it. And I think that's what we grab onto, right? Where it's like, well, I've seen this in a movie and none of my friends have this. Like, I'm the one having an exciting life. You know, like me and this person, there's fire. Like, it kicks up. And it's like, oh my God, like this shit is going to burn.
Put it down.
It's going to burn.
Man.
I want people to understand that, like, feeling wanted in a relationship, and it doesn't have to be a relationship, feeling wanted in a dynamic where you know exactly where you stand with that person and they know exactly where they stand with you. And there's this mutual respect and trust, and also space for each other to be individuals. When you come together and you experience being wanted by that kind of person in that kind of dynamic, you tell me that you now know that that feels different. Because I promise you, you're going to be like, oh shit, that's what the fuck they mean, you know?
Yep.
And it's like deep in yourself satisfying.
Yes. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
I don't know how
to
describe it.
It's like this insane, intense, like amazing, cellular, soulful. Like, it's just, it's sexy. It's sexy. It's so good. Oh, man.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for all of you listening to experience it if you haven't yet.
Actually, you know what? We can sort of use Andrew and Tasha and Coco as an example of this, because the way that Andrew and Tasha connect, obviously we don't see everything about their like intimate spaces, nor should we. That is totally their fucking business. Sometimes even having as much access as we have on this show it makes me a little uncomfortable.
I know.
Anyway, the way that they connect is, it's very like, I'm into all of you, you're into all of me, and also like I love you even when you're not naked in front of me, which it's a bad example because they're literally naked on the show the entire time. But I love you when you're just being silly. Like, it's like it's an all-encompassing, you could be any version of yourself, and I'm here for you. Whereas with Andrew and Coco, it was way more just about flirt. It was way more just about their sexual connection, and he dropped her like that. The minute he saw Tasha's face, he had some mean words to say. Everyone came back together in the villa, and he was over that shit. That's the kind of feeling that you have when you're with someone that's not for you.
Which literally, and this is a question I get all the time, is like, should I wait to have sex when I'm dating or not? And blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, personal opinion, for those of you who have been through toxic relationships, I would suggest holding off on sex for a while, for at least a month, maybe 2 months, maybe 3, if you got that in you. I really do. Because, because it's like, then look, you can talk about casual sex in a second. I'm all for casual sex too. But like, let's talk about the difference here. Because Coco went in hot, heavy, flirty with Andrew, it was very sexy. And in her mind, and a lot of women fall prey to this, is because we've had this sexual chemistry, because it's off the charts, that must mean something. But sex can be just sex. And so it really starts with the mindset. So it's like, if you want to have casual sex, be in the mindset of, this is an orgasm, this is fun, this is playful, totally fine, it's consensual, everyone's on the same page, have a fucking blast. If you are dating for long-term relationships and you have been through unhealthy relationships and you're building the muscle of like, how can I tell the difference between a healthy conscious partner and someone who just wants to use me, make them wait to have sex with you, because someone who is just wanting to use you isn't going to wait that long. They're not. So that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. Oh, I have a hole in my armpit. Okay.
Oh, hi there.
Yeah. I gotta sew that in my shirt.
Is there anything else on Ekin-Su and Davide that feels like, holy shit, this this is them representing the wrong thing, and this is us celebrating it. Did we cover it?
No.
Yeah, I you know what? This is the last thing I'll say about them. It'll be very interesting. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how all of the couples like get on. It's too soon. Everyone's probably like still super connected and like invested in making their relationships work or whatever. But
I can guarantee you that Ekins already picked a fight since they've been out.
There's just no way that they are not that they're going to stay together. There's just no way. Like
Davide won't tolerate it.
Yeah,
for long.
No. I think, listen, I think that her access to exposure was very important to her. And you know what?
I like that.
I could be wrong.
I'm prepared to be wrong.
I'm prepared to be wrong.
Says. She's like, I trust myself to handle that if I'm wrong. Me too.
Yeah, I'm prepared to be wrong, but and I'm sure that goes for a lot of people, but I do think that the access to exposure was important. Okay.
Who's next?
Well, maybe I'd like to talk about Gemma and Luca and India and Dami through the lens of the reunion.
Great, let's do it.
And not so much the last episode. It was really interesting to see Gemma and Luca show up at the reunion. It was immediate before Gemma even spoke. I could tell that she was already so much more excited to be Luca's partner than she had been in the villa. Did you feel the same way? I mean, she said it.
Girl,
but like,
I can't remember. I feel so bad.
I
watched them a week ago and didn't take notes.
No, Alex and I did not take notes on this because we were like, you know what, we're done. We threw in the towel. We took our working hats off. No, okay, so basically it was just, I'm going to describe it. But like, she's interviewing all of the finalists. She's interviewing the finalists, and like, Gemma is just like perky. And not perky in a way of like, I'm on television, I need to look like I want to be here, which she is a performer, so that could be relevant. She's gotten a lot of flack for being quite monotone and whatever. But she was perky. She was really engaged in Luca in a really organic way. She was just like perked the fuck up. I don't know how else to describe it other than that. And Laura kind of mentioned it as she was interviewing her, and she was just like, the way that they described it was, I like him even more now that we're out. That was a soundbite of hers. I like him even more now that we're out. And the way that they described it, she said, our affection and our relationship could only grow so much in that environment. Mm-hmm. She was like, it felt like it had a cap because of where we were and the setting that we were in. Like, now that we're engaged in the world, like out, it feels like the sky is the limit. That's how they described it. And it's interesting.
I love that. And I completely agree with that. Well, one, because I agree with that. I think, like, you know, it's like summer camp for adults in a way. It's like, let's all get together. We're gonna, you know, hang out in our bikinis and swim trunks and like have a good time, drink some drinks, shake our asses, get laid a little bit. Yeah. And like, you know, we'll see whatever happens. And so I think what is interesting about, I mean, like, again, from what I've seen, and I can't say this with like, you know, 100% research confidence, but like from what I've seen with Gemma and Luca throughout their relationship is Gemma's a bit avoidant and Luca's a bit anxious. Like Luca like globs on. He's like, I want to, I use this term all the time. Like humans are like dogs. We feel the need to like pee on our property. Like Luca was kind of like that with Gemma. He was like, I want the world to know that girl is mine. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
So
don't fuck with her.
Which only made Gemma in true avoidant attachment, you know, kind of pull back a little bit more to like feel some sense of independence and agency from Luca. Like, I'm still me. And I think that Gemma really needed real life to be able to see, because I personally feel the villa brought out Luca's anxiousness even more because their relationship was constantly threatened. So when Gemma's like, there was a cap, I completely agree because they both were being triggered by each other and the environment fucking every day. And so now that they can like find some, you know, balance and like, I don't know the word, like a symbiotic type relationship or whatever in the real world.
They need to ebb with each other's flows. Yeah. And also have their own shit going on. Luca really needed his own shit going on. in that
For real.
villa.
He was so fun. And that's how, if you have an anxious attachment style, I'm speaking from personal experience because that's I call it my default setting.
Yeah,
Um,
that's cute.
but like for me, in my default setting with my anxious attachment style, when we don't have a life of our own, which a lot of people with anxious attachment styles, the normal pattern is like your partner becomes your world and you get so hyper focused on them that it's like, and Luca was exactly that. He had nothing else to focus on. He wasn't fishmongering. He wasn't doing his thing, right? Whereas I can guarantee you that Gemma fucking loves it when Luca's at sea catching his fish and he doesn't have self-service and she's like on her own for a few hours. I bet you she loves that, and it's really good for their relationship because it allows her to take time to get back to herself, to focus on her equestrian stuff, and to like, not feel guilty for not giving Luca the stimulation that he needs, which is what he so craved and demanded of her in the villa, So it's like, I believe that about them 100%.
You know what? I haven't caught up with Gemma and Luca. We haven't texted in a while, but I have an inkling that you are exactly right about that. 100%. There's a deep knowing inside of me that says that's exactly what's happening. And maybe, and who knows? I don't know. Like, did Luca go back to fishmongering? Like, is that what he's actually doing after
That's also
this
true.
global show? But he's doing something, and we know that, And
Yes.
I totally, I agree with all of that. And it was really lovely to see she was buzzing. She was energized.
Yeah. Look at this cute photo of them on the gram.
Oh, that's so cute.
I just pulled it up because I had to. I was like, what's going on with these two?
I haven't gone on anyone's Instagrams to see what people are up to. I'm excited for them. I mean, listen, all of these couples, even as strong as they are in their moments and can be and have the possibilities to be, nothing's guaranteed. No one is guaranteed to be together forever. So let's not put all of our eggs in that basket. But I think if Gemma and Luca commit to their relationship, their connection, the things that make them uniquely work together, they will have a substantial and fulfilling relationship for however long they do it.
Yeah, isn't that the opportunity for all couples?
Absolutely.
That's what I think is so funny. It's like we always, oh my God, girl, maybe that should be written on my tombstone. It's like, all relationships have the opportunity to work if both parties are committed to taking ownership of their own shit and meeting each other in the middle.
That is exactly true. I think that we go through dating with the assumption that there's only a few kinds of people that we can make this work with. I only have a few kinds of people. Like there truly is when really you can make a relationship work with a lot of different kinds of people. The things that truly make us incompatible in our definition of what incompatibility actually means is, are we looking for the same things? Like, do we want the same things?
Yeah, like monogamous, polyamorous, incompatible.
Children,
like that's
no children. Marriage,
incompatible.
No marriage. Incompatible.
Yes,
house
I want to raise my
California,
kids Christian.
Yep.
Yeah.
Religion, incompatible. Where you want to live in the country, incompatible. Like whatever, and you can be justified in whatever it is that your preferences are, whatever your non-negotiables are. Live in that fucking truth. I beg of you, please. Do not bend what your non-negotiable is just for someone who makes you feel some type of way, because it doesn't just have to work with them. We can make this work with lots of other people. It's just about figuring out what the specific formula for your specific relationship, your dynamic, where it hurts, where it grows, and figuring out what that is together as a team and fucking really committing to it.
Yes. Oh my God. I have like a hard on if I could do that.
You have a fanny
but
flutter.
It's true. Mm-hmm. I do. Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's a Love Island borrowed term as well. Fanny flutter.
That's cute.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's the truth. And I think so often we are like, I'm looking for the right person. And like, it's not, relationships aren't found, they're created. They aren't found, they're created.
Ooh. That's the title of the episode.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to write it down before I forget.
Yeah.
Dami, India.
Okay. Honestly, nothing stood out to me about them, point blank period, about anything other than I could feel the secondhand embarrassment for them at the reunion to be like, be public in their coupledom with Amber present and Ikenna, although they think that they care less about Ikenna. What do you think?
Okay, I do remember that part of the
It was
episode.
just
Yeah.
awkward. It was never really addressed properly.
No, well, I think the reason it was especially awkward with Amber there is because if I believe it was Dami used language like, yeah, from the second I saw you, like I knew there was something special there. And it's like, okay, wait, hold on. You were with Amber for the first couple weeks and like really chasing Amber and pursuing Amber but then you're saying from the second, so why did it take you that long to do anything with India? And meanwhile, you felt that way about India while you were with Amber. And I feel like that's what made it so awkward is like, okay, even if that is the truth, which, okay, Alex doesn't usually promote lying by omission, but like, come on, could we spare Amber a break here?
Just a
Could we
little.
just spare
Like,
the woman a break by being like, I'm just really thankful that I got the opportunity to explore my connection with India. Just leave it at that. We don't need to
yeah,
go into like
a
when
hundred
you were with
percent.
Amber, how you were feeling about India.
Yeah, like he could have
boy.
said, I would have loved if he, and listen, I am not one to put words in someone else's mouth, but I'm going to do it right now. I would have
Do
loved for
it.
him to say, I was really surprised at the connection that I like had and developed with India. I was surprised by it, you know?
Okay.
I didn't anticipate it, and when it happened, difficult to ignore. That would have been great.
Yeah.
I would have taken that.
Great.
Um,
Yeah.
I the thing that only stood out to me body language wise is that it just didn't, and maybe this is just Dami and his energy, but or maybe he was uncomfortable at the reunion, but like he didn't seem happy to be there. He didn't seem happy to be
Yeah.
next to India. His face was like downturned the entire time, and I was just sort of like, what's going on in your head? What's
Yeah.
happening?
I feel like Dami gets really uncomfortable when he knows he's in trouble or knows he didn't handle something to the best of his ability, and his way of trying to cope with that is to go internal and shut down. Like that's his like fawning, like freezing, like I'm just gonna shut down now because I said something or did something that was awkward and I'm trying to just make my way out of this scenario so that I'm okay. Like
So true.
that's the vibe I get from Dami. And so I hope he's happy with India. India's a motherfucking catch. That girl
She's
is
such a
so
catch.
so cool. Yeah. And so I hope, I don't know, maybe Dami sowed his wild oats enough in Casa to like keep it together for her in the real life. But there's a part of me that doesn't trust that fully with Dami.
I don't trust him.
If I'm
I
being
think
fully
I think he's a
honest.
decent dude. Like I don't think that he's intentionally
I
trying
just
to
think
play
he's
her.
excited to get around. Like I think he just is still in that phase where he's like, I want to get laid, I want to meet chicks, I want to do my thing, I want to party, and that's totally fine. But be honest about that, be forthcoming about that in your relationship with India, and don't be in a committed monogamous relationship if that's still where you're at emotionally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no judgment, guys. The only time that judgment happens is when you're not being honest, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna go on a date because you want to get laid, go on a date and tell the person you're like, look, honestly, I'm on the rebound, or I'm just looking for a good time right now. I'm too busy, but like, if you're down for that, I just, I want to because what you're doing there is emotionally mature, and two, you're not fucking over the other person. It's when we keep that shit to ourselves and we aren't honest about like, this is what I'm looking for out of this, that it becomes an issue. You know?
Totally. I'm with that.
But
it just,
yeah.
even if that's his story, then like why go on a show where like the point is to end up in more or less of a monogamous relationship
Come
at the
on,
end?
we know that. We
I
know
know.
the
It's just
answer to
like,
that.
so I think that the true Love Island test is when the show is wrapped, because now they are known
yeah.
by
Everybody.
everyone. Like they're known across their nation and
Yeah.
and by celebrities.
And the UK is not as big as America. Sorry to interrupt you, Brie.
Yeah,
I just
good.
feel the need to say that. Like, the UK is a small place.
Small place.
Compared to America.
It's a small place. Y'all are going to run into each other. Also, like, you're known by all of these people, like, and they do so many ITV2 events throughout the year, like all of these Love Island people show up at the same places for the same events because they are like paid to be there. So it's a lot
Right.
of like additional gigs. It's a lot of schmoozing. It's a lot of brand deals. It's a lot of Instagram, like, welcome, like, have you tried this tummy tea that I'm promoting? Like, here's my code. Like, there's going to be a lot of, like,
Here's my code.
here's my code,
So
15%
true.
off at checkout. Like, there's going to be a lot of attention. Dami's going to have a lot of fucking people in his DMs. Like, this is the true test of, like, are y'all really about this relationship?
Right.
Are you really about
For
it?
real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
This
Yeah,
cards
I
are
know.
stacked
Everyone's
against them.
like, I know. Everyone's like, Casa's the test, testing the connection, test, test, test. Bitch, you playing yourself. The
It's
test
the-
is now.
It's when you get out. It's when you get. We just don't get to see it as much. That's the thing.
Yeah. I'm okay with that, though. Y'all
Yeah,
go on and live your lives.
I need a break from their existence.
Yeah,
break
we
from it.
love you. Although
love
I'm
you.
much more keen on checking in with them than I am the maths folks.
Haven't checked in. What?
Although
no.
I am curious about Stephen Noy. I'm going to make a note to myself
Okay,
to check on Stephen Noy later.
when you check on Stephen Noy, can you also check on Mike and what was his wife's name?
Who are you talking about?
Michael.
Oh, Mike and Jasmina.
Yeah, follow up on Mike and Jasmine. I bet they're divorced.
Okay, I'm on it. I'm going to
We
look.
found that
I don't know. I have a good feeling.
Lindsay and Mark are split up, right? We know that, right? Yeah.
At least they ain't got no photos together, so
Oh, yeah,
I
they're
feel like
out.
they are.
They're out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pixar
They ain't
didn't
got
happen.
no photos.
Yeah, Pixar
Yeah.
didn't happen.
Fuck the world we live in now. God, I remember. Okay, social media side story. Okay, as you all know by now, I grew up in a very conservative home. So, Bree, when she was over and started living with me, she got me on my first MySpace ever, and it was a secret. My family
I
didn't know I
did?
had
Oh my
MySpace.
God,
Same with
yes.
Facebook, bitch. Same with Facebook. In '07, I was a freshman, and you were like, "How are you not on Facebook now? It's not about the MySpace anymore. It's about the Facebook." And then I don't know if you remember when we took those photos at the beach,
Yes.
and then we used those as my first Facebook photos.
Yes.
Thank you, Bree, for getting me into the social media scene, because I would not have if it wasn't for you.
Fully forgot about that. I'm dead. I came in
thank
with
you.
my northeast energy, and I said, "Bitch, we are revolutionizing this household. You're getting on the
Yeah.
internet."
It was great. Yeah. Because
Aw.
other than that, I had my AIM handle, and that was it. I was all about the AIM chat. But
I don't
there
know
was
if
no.
I can't tell if I helped or hurt you by doing that, because social media truly
you
is
helped.
like a disease.
Yeah,
Oh.
it is a disease. But look, I would have gotten on it anyway
Yeah.
at some point. And so
We had
doing
fun.
it with you was probably
It was
the
fun.
best way I could
It
have
was
been
fun.
introduced to it.
Yeah, that's
100%.
so true. Aww.
Yeah, you're
cute.
not the issue because of social media. Social media
True.
is the issue because
Yes.
of what it's evolved into.
Yes.
Originally, social media wasn't an issue. Now it's an issue.
100%.
But
Okay.
that's a different topic.
So, social media.
Are we
it's
gonna have our?
Oh, we're having our chat. We're
Yeah.
having our chat. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's Love Island. We're so glad to have done this with you guys. What a fun time. And something that Alex and I wanted to talk about was navigating platonic friendships. Okay. What I really want to say is navigating platonic friendships with people of the opposite sex, but that only applies to people who are heterosexual, right? So it's like
Right.
navigating platonic friendships with people that you could be attracted to mutually. Like someone,
Yes.
one or both could be attracted to the other person. Doesn't matter if it's different genders, the same gender. It's totally dependent on you and your attraction, right?
Yeah.
I have been grappling with this age-old question of, can men and women be friends? Can we be friends with people that we're attracted to? Like,
Yeah.
I have felt one way my entire life. I now don't feel that way anymore, and I want to
Yep.
talk about it.
Yeah, let's do it. Because for me, the longest time I was like, men and women can't be friends, because at some point someone starts catching feelings. And I feel that that's not always true. I think that it can be if you're naive and you're not, again, comes back to being honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, then it could be a slippery slope. But I think if you have a good relationship with yourself, you know yourself, you're comfortable with yourself, and you're capable of establishing healthy boundaries and having open and honest communication, friendships that are platonic, even when someone is in a relationship, are totally possible. So
the being honest with yourself, and the boundaries are absolutely key. Yes. Because what I cannot stand is when people are like, oh yeah, so and so, or we're just friends. It's like you're texting all the time and like you're hanging out. Yeah, right. We're just friends. And it's like, if I ask that person, I'm like, okay, but do you like them? Like, have you ever thought about it? Like, no, of course not. You're lying to yourself. And I don't want to be lied to. I don't like that. Don't lie to me. Don't make me look stupid. And I think, okay, so I felt for the longest time in this heteronormative panel, men and women cannot be friends. I felt for the longest time men and women can be friends, because I was like, I have all of these guy friends. They're my buddies. Like, there's no drama with them. Lie. Everything is cool. Like, there are going to be no issues. Lie. Those were lies. I have come to realize that technically, yes, we can be friends, but we need those elements that you talked about. You need to be honest with yourself. You both need to be on. You can be honest with yourselves. You don't have to be honest with the other person. I don't have to if Alex and I are friends, I don't have to be like, hey, we can be friends because I'm not attracted to you.
No.
You're right.
Or the opposite, like, hey, I think you're hot and I probably would fuck you, but I have respect for who you're seeing right now, or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like, we don't need to open the floodgates in that way, but you need to be aware.
You need to be aware. You need to be aware. And I think the fact is that two people who do have a friendship, and we hope it's a solid one, we hope it's a one that feels like mutually beneficial and everyone gets a little bit of something, because those friendships, especially when they are with people outside of our romantic dynamics, they can be so fulfilling.
Oh my God, yes.
Even if they include a person that you could be attracted to, like, if there is room for a relationship, a friendship to form, I'm thinking of a couple that I have with men in particular that are so satisfying to me. And I know that they only exist because boundaries are in place. They only exist because of that.
100. And so the reason this topic came up for Brie and I, and why we're so passionate, is I have recently made a male friend whom I fucking love. And Sean, if you're listening, love you, bud. You're the best. But you know, we met through work, and we've hung out a few times one-on-one, and there was very much a part of me that felt uncomfortable, even though the majority of Alex was like, I love this person's energy. We can have like the fun philosophical conversations, and like, he's our people. He would be a great guest on the podcast. Like, he's just cool. And I really enjoy him. And he has a girlfriend. And I'm recently single. And so I was talking to Bria about this one part of myself that was feeling a little uneasy, even though, we have our boundaries. We're very clear. That night, I made it a point to open the floor for his girlfriend. Like, if she wants to talk to me, like, I want her to feel comfortable. Like, I made that aware for him. But the reason that we wanted to share this with you is I wanted to state, like, this is something that I'm kind of building my muscle on, of like, I need to be honest with myself around, my feelings and my ideas around Sean, and then the boundaries that we need to establish as friends to, one, respect each other and his relationship.
His partner.
And that means exactly. And that means so much to me that, one, he came to the table quite literally. I mean, we were at dinner at the time, but like, he said, no, she knows, like, she's not that type of jealous person. And we were able to have a conversation that was really honest and forthcoming, that was inclusive of her, because I've been, and the reason this part of me was so loud is because I have been the girl that was told, by her man at the time, she's just a friend, alluding to another friendship, and that wasn't the case. Yeah. And so to honor this part of me that felt uncomfortable, I felt the need to openly state that and say, this part of me wants to make sure your girlfriend feels comfortable and safe. Because I want to treat others the way that I would like to be treated. And that's exactly what I said to Bree, is like, if the roles were reversed, this is what I would want. And so that night that I was meeting up with him and we were FaceTiming, I made that plan. Like, this is the conversation I'm going to have. And I just want to encourage people, like, if this is something that you're navigating with a new friendship, like, just go there. Just be honest, because the best time to do it is in the early stages of the friendship. Because once things have been, a precedent's been established, a pattern's been established, to then try and work backwards with boundaries is much more challenging.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. Definitely.
So I just want to throw that out there.
I value it. I think that it's a good like lived experience of like, if I'm a person who is establishing a friendship with someone who is of a sex that I'd be like attracted to, and they have a relationship, a monogamous relationship, how do I balance that? Even if it was polyamorous, but you're not interested in engaging, how do I navigate that? Because what I want is for our relationship, our friendship to grow and be deeper and allow us to like really like lean on each other, because there's something about our connection that works. Sometimes I think that we get a little confused and we experience a connection with a friendship, and it's just a little confused. We experience a connection of a friendship and we're like, is this love?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And what I want people to know is, yes, it is love, but
So
it's not,
true.
it's not romantic love. It's not
Yes.
often. Like, it can also just be like a really fucking good, a good friendship. Like this topic came up for me was I have a really close friend of mine, that I've known since I was in high school. I met him when I was 15. We went to college together for some time. We've kept up in each other's lives for the last 15 years. And our relationship has gone through many different phases in a friendship. Do
Right.
I know that if this person had the opportunity to have sex with me, he would? 100%. Like, and maybe that wasn't true at all times of our friendship, but has
Right.
it been true at some point during the last 15 years? You bet your fucking ass. Right. And
Right.
so, but the thing is that this friendship is so satisfying to me because I do appreciate his energy as a male. I do appreciate his perspective of the world, which has nothing to do with his gender. And it's a person that is valuable to have in my life that would actually be compromised if something more intimate did happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
like everything that I love about our friendship would be in question if a boundary was crossed. And granted, like, you know, if there's alcohol, if things get a little sticky, you got to communicate that if you're looking to get back to where you were, you know, it's not irreparable, but it is something that is like, and the reason why this came up for me is I spent time with him where he's living now in North Carolina. And I was like, wow, this friendship means so much to me. I'm so glad to be here with this person. I'm so glad to have this long friendship with someone who knows me really well. And I continue to get more out of our friendship together because sort of like you and I, even 15 years later, he and I are just like, we still relate to each other in such a unique way that is not predictable in every friendship that we have. So it's like, this is important to me. So how do I allow it to continue to exist with the depths that make me happy? The reasons why I like it. You need boundaries. You need to be honest with yourself, and you have to have respect with who are the other people in the situation, which leads me to, how do we navigate if we are the ones in a relationship, a monogamous relationship? We are the ones in a relationship with a person who is has maybe some trauma around these types of friendships, similar to what you shared about your own feeling, which is, I've been told by someone in the past that this is a friend, don't worry, this is a friend, don't worry. And I found out that I should have actually been very worried, and my instincts on this were quite right. I was gaslit. You were gaslit in that situation a lot, right? So so how do we have respect for our partners who may come from similar experiences, even though we know that the friendship that we have established with this person, that yes, something could happen if we got loose with the structures that are in place? How do we have respect for that person because we trust our friendship, but they don't? That's too much to ask that and demand that they just trust it. What, just because I said so?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
No, no. It's like, again, I think too often, because let's be very clear here, what Bree just said is right. It's not, someone doesn't come into a relationship and decide against other platonic relationships for the sake of being against platonic relationships. It is a trauma response. It is a deeply ingrained fear that comes from trauma. And so you don't handle trauma by dismissing, right, or belittling someone's feelings and fears. You handle trauma by turning towards them, validating them, and asking the very important question of, how can I make you feel safe? How can I make you feel secure? What do you need from me in order to feel confident about my relationship with you and my friendship with this other person? What can I do? You know, what do you need? Do you want to meet them? Do you want to talk to them? Let's all hang out so you can get a feel for the vibe. Like, that is what needs to happen. It's, if you continue, and I use this analogy with dogs so often, is like, if you take a traumatized dog out of the traumatized environment, the dog is still very untrusting of people. Yeah. It takes time for them to trust their new environment, in years usually, of like, okay, yeah, you can touch me now, you can pet me now, right?
Yeah.
So you would never look at a dog and be like, I'm not the owner who abused you. Fuck you, dog, for thinking that I'm going to come over here and hit you. You would never do that. What would you do? You allow the dog the time and the space that it needs and the comfortability that it needs to feel safe with its new owners. You don't sit there and gaslight the dog. So why do we treat people any different?
No, it's so true. I think, like, if your partner comes to you and you really have like you have a good thing in your relationship where, like, they don't need to feel secure at all times. They're allowed to have their insecurities. They're allowed to have their doubts. I beg of you that you allow for a channel of communication to be open so that everyone can be honest about how things make them feel without eliciting a defensive stance, because it can so quickly become me saying, Alex, this makes me scared. I don't like this. It makes me worried. It makes me feel like I can't trust you. It makes me feel like I don't know if it's going to be okay, and I can't even trust you if you tell me it is. And then you going, you don't trust me? What does that say about our relationship? What does that say about how you feel about me if you don't trust me? It's like, hold up. We need to take this down. Yeah, time out. A de-escalated way to have this conversation is for someone to be like, I'm going to be really honest. I'm not proud of this, but it makes me scared. I don't love that it makes me scared. Every part of me wants to trust you, and yet I still have a hard time. It's actually not so much about you. Maybe it's a bit about what I've been through. Maybe it's about all of the things that I fear is yet to happen to me. This is hard for me. It's hard for me to know that you have a relationship, and I still want you to have people in your life. I don't want to hold you off. And then I don't know what to do with that, right? And your partner to say, like, thank you for telling me that. Thanks for letting me know how that makes you feel. I don't even know exactly what to do with this yet, because I'm not prepared to say, okay, I'm not going to have this person in my life anymore just to make you comfortable. And I don't know if I have the answers to make you feel more secure. I don't know if I have that. If we continue to talk about it and you want to ask questions and we figure out what works between the two of us to allow for us to feel safer about this than we do right now, I'm committed to figuring that out, but I don't have the answer. I don't know how to make this better. I don't know how to fix this for you. Can you appreciate that? You know, like, that's us meeting in the fucking middle.
Yep.
And again, we say this a lot. It's not a sexy answer. It's not going to make everyone feel better, but that's not really the goal here, because it's more deeply rooted shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's on the person who has the trauma around being cheated on and abandoned in that way to do their own trauma work. And it's on you as the partner to, and what I mean by assist is make a safe space, make them feel heard and understood, instead of holding their trauma against them as a reason why they are doing wrong in the relationship, right? Or having unrealistic expectations in the relationship, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I think...
good combo.
Yeah. Like, you'll get there. Like it's a tricky dance. You know, I it's hard to imagine because I think that this dynamic really gets people stuck. But I think what's important to note is like it's just about consistency because your partner is not going to believe for the first time to say like they're fine, like it's all good. They have to see that this is fine, you know, the first, second, third, fourth, 1 millionth time that you reference this person in your life, that they get a chance to meet them. They need to know that like this person has relationships outside of relationship. Sorry, they have friendships outside of our relationship. And from what I've experienced, this has always been consistent. This has always been fine. And that can aid to the trauma work that you're building up, which is like that exposure to a thing that scares the shit out of you and learning how to sit in that discomfort. And if your partner's doing what they need to do, they're being consistent, you can sort of relax into the fact that that does make you uncomfortable, but that is actually the worst part that's happening right now. That's it.
So good.
Fiend.
So good. Fiend.
So next, we don't exactly have a red flag, green flag, but next, we're open to suggestions for what we're going to cover on our next series. So we're kicking around some ideas. We have an interest in Fuckboy Island, which is on HBO, hosted by the hilarious Nikki Glazer. We also have Southern Charm, which I'm recently being told about as well. Okay,
oh my God. Can I just like shout out to the gal who reached out to me? Her name is Emily. She hit me up the other day and she was like, you guys should do Southern Charm on your podcast. And the message was confusing to me. I thought Southern Charm was a podcast that she wanted me to like be interviewed on. So I wrote back being like with an answer that didn't make sense. And she was like, Southern Charm's a reality show. And I was like, oh my God, thanks for the clarity. Cause I was so confused around what that was, but like, tell me more. Cause yes, Brie and I are looking for a show. So I just felt, guys, I am so pop culture ignorant. You can't come at me with these titles. You have to be like a reality show, comma, Southern Charm, comma. Like I need context.
Talk to us like we're children.
Alex, yes, because Alex does not. Oh fuck, I did it. I called myself in the third person again. Oh my gosh, am I ever gonna break this habit?
First of all, you stop it right now. You're growing, you're learning, and it means regressing. Sometimes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you guys. See, look, this is the work. We all have our own coaches and therapists.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell me, give me context because I don't pay attention to things.
So we're open to Southern Charm. If we will be interested in covering a future Bachelor or Bachelorette series. It's a future. Series in the future, but we wanted to time up with our coverage schedule, and right now we're the Bachelorette's almost over. Though I do have feelings about it. I have lots of feelings.
You got to tell me what they are. I'm not watching it.
You know what? We should. We got to figure out when Bachelor in Paradise airs.
Word. We should do that. We can look into that. Okay, cool. Okay. I'm gonna make a note.
Bachelor in Paradise is coming up. I already know that you and I would love that because there's so many different couples to.
Yep.
Oh, that could be chaotic.
Backgrounds.
That could be chaotic.
Oh my God, I would love it.
Okay. And then that's it. So check in with us. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know what you'd like us to cover. And we love you. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Ditch the Script Pod for both handles. It's where we throw up a lot of our videos, clips from our like little sound bites. If you have a question or you want something answered or you want to apply for a free 30-minute mini session, you could be an anonymous or not. Go to our website, www.ditchthescriptpod.com.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you.
Love ya.
That's it. Bye, Felicias. We love you.
Bye, Felicias. That's great.